Alright, let me start out this video. They've been playing this in Chicago for about the last 4 days. Supposedly some guy cheated on his old lady. Well, we both know that this is not what this is about. What has me interested is it says lying husband. And it says tell Jessica you're moving in. So lying husband and moving in. Well, what's up with the husband bit? Why do you wear a wedding ring? That'll become evident here in a second. You're moving in. That sounds like somebody pushing their way in. Now, what's the lying husband bit? And Michael, who is Michael? Well, he was an archangel, right? You know, I'm just taking a shot on that. But the lying husband bit. Let's see what's up with the lying husband. Who is the god of husbandry? Saturn. Here he is. So the lying husband, Saturn is Satan, and Satan is a liar, right? Supposedly. So Satan is moving into Chicago, right? That's what that's saying. You guys can read this. It just basically tell you that that's what it is. The festival of Saturnalia, all of this stuff. But that's why you wear a wedding ring, because it represents the female genitalia and the male phallic symbol. Anyway, so this is telling me that something's going on in Chicago. The next thing is there's 54 school closing. They've been talking about this shit hard for the last couple of days. 54 is 9. Okay? There's 3,000 kids that are being displaced. Alright, so there's your 3. Let's look here. The murder mayor, which is Rahm Emanuel. Okay? Now, this is the play, the name here, Rahm. They just changed the spelling of it. Because Rahm is from the 77 lesser keys of King Solomon. You know, the guy that builds the church and temple out of the binding of demons. Well, let's see who Rahm really is. Here they're spelling it R-A-H-M. Let's see how it's really spelled. R-A-U-M. And as you can see, he's a great earl. He is seen as a crow. But when he putteth on human shape, at the commandment of the exorcist, he stealeth wonderfully out of the king's house, and he carrieth it whether he is assigned. So in other words, he takes stuff and steals it. He destroyeth cities. So in other words, they don't have the budget for these 54 kids because it's stolen. Second of all, he destroyeth cities. Okay, I'm going to tell you something that Fox said today. They said the only way to stop the rain is to bring in the fire. They're not talking about rain like water. They're talking about rain of whoever's in charge. Which tells me something's getting ready to flip here. See, the whole Saturnalian festival it would flip for a short amount of time. And what would happen is the men that had the people in bondage, or the masters, would allow their slaves, they would switch places. Which is really a story about a pole shift, which is really about the 2 pillars. There would be a short pole shift. But what would happen is everything would be chaotic for that split second. If you're talking about electricity and you're trying to do a pole flip, a polarity switch, everything could go chaotic. You could burn everything up. Something's happening here. That's what they're saying. So if we look at Rahm Emanuel, you can see that he's missing his finger. Well, this makes a permanent symbol of something else. Let's take a look at that. This is your Saturn finger. So we see him here. He's constantly making what you would call the devil sign. Okay? Something's going on. The moving in and the lying husband stuff. I get all that. The closing of the schools. And the lady that's in charge of all of that hates the mayor and is calling him the murder mayor. Is she saying it, or is it a command? Is she saying it, or is this a command? See? She keeps saying chaos and destruction. See? These words they keep using. So if we look at this is a perfect representation of what I've been telling you. Let me explain something to you real quick. From what I've gathered, everything is the same. from the smallest to the biggest. Everything is about creation. So if you figure two pillars, one's a positive and one's a negative, okay? That little spinning thing in the middle is like a little motor. Everything has it, your cells, the universe, everything. So imagine the polarity, one being positive and one being negative, and it causes that little thing in the middle to spin, which is the center pillar. Okay? But the center pillar, but that thing isn't spinning. So we're on a dead short. Remember I told you? Like the barber pole? It ain't spinning. So the bottom line is that the system is broke. And so they're showing you that here. Here's the left pillar and the right. The left is dead. The right, you have to have a ground to make it work. So the right is not connected to the left to make this thing spin. So, you know, you have to think on an esoteric and on a mechanical level. Your cells do the same thing. That's why sex is such a big deal, because it's about recreation. All right? So all of these numbers and all this adds up to something. I was supposed to go into Chicago today. I'm not going in there. I'll go Monday. But let's look at something else real quick. I made a video yesterday where all these, I showed you 4 people that were redheads all saying, oh, the 20 seconds could be a big mass murder. You know, well, if we're on an electrical system and they throw a switch and things don't work out right, then yeah, it's going to fry the shit out of a lot of people, I'm assuming. But somebody wrote to me and said, oh, stop saying people with black hair have red hair. He's referring to this guy. Okay, this guy making the cube sign. To the individual that said that, I didn't just say it to be biased. Okay, here's another picture of him. See the symbol he's making here? See the symbol he's making here? So that's the cube. That's the negative. That's the ground. He's pointing to the ground. So basically what he's doing is he's showing you the left pillar. It's ground. It's electrical. Okay? But what I really want you to see is his face. See that hair? Does that look black to you, my friend? That's as red as fuck. Oh, and this? This is this. Okay? They've just taken a fucking mechanical working of the universe and turned it into a fucking crazy ass fucking religion where they run around and do whatever the fuck they want to do. So if in any way, shape, or form you think this shit's normal, you know, I mean this is the epitome. Fold those in, you got the cube with the eye in it. So that's the video for this morning. I got something else to show you later, but that's it for right now. Just so you know, there, Slick, it's red hair. It ain't black.